Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the very first new episode of WrestleCast for 2018. We are actually going to be calling the show now Friday Night WrestleCast so that you guys know we're going to be doing a show every Friday. So, welcome. I'm your host, Richard Bellay Jr., and tonight I'm joined by Mr. Adam Vale. How's it going, Adam?
Whoop whoop! What's up? Got some wrestling to talk about. Whole lot of wrestling.
Absolutely. We're also joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie. How's it going, Dana?
Oh no, did mute.
Sorry,
There you
sorry.
go.
I couldn't find the unmute button.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah.
It was
Careful. Careful with that. Careful with that.
Windows suck. Hello, everyone.
Yes. Glad the muting is resolved.
Yes.
But yes, I know that we have been quite away for a while. I have actually been out of town for a while. All types of stuff, the holidays. So very glad to be back for episode 18. You know, we wanted to make sure we started off 2018 correct. And there's a lot of stuff that has been happening if you've been keeping up with wrestling. So we have quite a bit of topics to get into tonight. But before we do that, obviously, I need to give the floor to Mr. Adam Vale because prior to the holiday break, he decided to purchase WWE 2K18 for the Nintendo Switch. So,
Shit.
first and foremost, Adam, I have to ask, what the hell were you thinking, and what are your thoughts on this particular version of the game?
Man, I knew it was gonna be bad when I heard that they were doing this silent launch. How you gonna do a silent launch for a big title like that? You know what I mean? Unless you're like, wow, this sucks. Let's just get it out there. And I knew it. I just knew it, and I still did it anyway. And I did the mistake of getting it digitally. Okay, so there's no go backs on this shit. I'm stuck. So I got it and I played it. And once I didn't even bother reading anything online because I got it the night it launched, right? I downloaded, I load up Finn Balor, and I don't remember who his opponent was, but right off the bat, got these frame rate issues. It was just a mess. Just him coming down, the entrance, everything was horrible. But then when the match started, it was fine. So I was like, all right. So I switched it off to Triple H, same thing. I'm like, this is bad. Let me try a tag match. Oh no, that's broke. It doesn't work. Everything moves like super slow at a crawl. Frame rate's horrible. Everybody's glitching. Look, it was bad. Every other mode after that was worse. So I'm like, all right, this is a broken game. They'll come up with a patch. We're over a month now. They had one patch, which they never released patch notes, did not fix a damn thing. Still has loading issues, still has frame rate issues, crashing issues. Once if you try a gimmick match, like a chamber match or any of them, you're done. There's no point. Everybody's just like turtle speed. You might as well just shut it off. You can't play it. And it's sad because on the eShop, they don't give you an option for a refund. You can't do anything. You're just stuck with it. PlayStation, you can do a chat, get some money back in your wallet. They've given me refunds. Microsoft definitely does refunds. Steam does refunds, but damn, Nintendo's like, nope, you're stuck. Like, but the shit's broken. Too bad. Which sucks. So yeah, it's upsetting. It's upsetting, and we haven't heard anything. No patch notes. They know this is broken. It's not like, oh, it's got some issues. They'll work it out. No, the only mode you can play is singles. You try any of the other modes, it just doesn't work. And it's sad. It's really sad because I had high hopes for that because I was like, wow, this is great. Take this game on the go. But that's what I get. This it's not the first time I've been burnt. This happened to me with the Vita and Call of Duty. And those got a Vita and got Call of Duty know exactly what I'm talking about. That was pure trash. But again, I was an early adopter. That shit came out day up. Had to get it and regret it 5 minutes after. I was like, shit. But it is what it is, and I just hope that they don't leave it this way. I mean, they promise patches. They promise there's going to be some fixes coming down the road. But man, over a month? I mean, this is and nothing. They haven't said anything like, oh, yeah, we're working on this part. Nope. So I'm getting nervous. I'm wondering if they're just going to be like, we screwed up. We can't fix this. Some people were saying that because remember, that's one of those games, sort of like NBA 2K, where you still have to download a large portion of it from the network, from the eShop onto your card. The whole game is not on the actual card itself. So some people were saying, well, maybe it's the the cross-referencing, cross-matching between the cart game and the digital content, but mine's is all digital and it's still having that issue. So that's not causing the problem. It's just a broken game, and they knew it was broken, and it got sent to manufacturing broken, and it got released to retail broken, and that's horrible because that means they knew and they didn't care, and they were still charging people full price. That's a smack in the face to all fans.
Absolutely.
So after this, I will not be getting another WWE game. I don't care if they're like, oh, but Yucks didn't do it. Don't matter. They knew about it. Everybody knew about it. Dirty secrets. Don't tell me that they said, no, we don't want to play any early builds. Well, wait till the final product. Bullshit. They played it. They said, oh man, this is bad. So when's the release date? Just push it out tomorrow. Who cares? That's it. Just send it out. Because they think about it. We really didn't see too much. We had Seth Rollins, right, do that weird video, fake playing a Switch, saying he was playing it and it's coming. It's like, okay. And then that was it. It went silent. And whenever a game goes silent like that, you got to get worried. There's only one game that comes to mind that came out that was silent, that didn't send out review copies and actually worked out. And that was the latest Doom. Because remember, Bethesda was like, nope, no early copies. And I'm like, yo, this shit's going to be broken. And then we found out that the multiplayer was done by this other studio. It didn't have a great track record. They're like, psh. People still didn't like the multiplayer, but game was solid, worked out fine. But we've been burned with other games. That Call of Duty for Vita I talked about. Of course, the NBA. Everybody knows the NBA Live. How when that came out, and that was pure garbage at the time. They were like, what the hell? But that's what happens. Whenever you hear these soft launches for big titles, that means something is wrong. The alarms go off, and the alarms went off. But it's like, I just, that fan in me of like, I want to have this experience on the go. Come on, how bad can you really mess it up? Like, even if they were like, you know what, we can't get the entrances right. Entrance frame rates are going to be trash, but the gameplay is going to be solid. You'll have like the 3-on-3 matches, all that's going to be solid, but the entrances going to be bad. I'm cool with that. I'll turn off entrances. I'll be fine. They can't even do that. So it's like a waste. I can't really do much. I just play singles matches all the time. That's all I do with it. So yeah, I'm sure it's no surprise to anybody watching this. Yeah, don't get that. Don't get that game. Okay, hell, don't even get the one that's on consoles right now, on the main ones. That was trash also. They really need to go back to the drawing board. They need to take a full year off, and just like the way Ubisoft did with Assassin's Creed franchise, take a year off, sit back, relax, and say, all right, fresh eyes. What are we going to do with this? Because they need to do something. We heard with New Japan Pro Wrestling, supposedly they were like, oh, we got the new game. No, it's just New Japan guys are going to be in Fire Pro. Fire Pro is fun. It's a different type of thing, though. It's not like a WWE game, and it's good in its own right, but we just something more immersive, because that's more of like an 8-bit, and it's fun to play. I love Fire Pro, but it's just not the same. And I'm just disappointed that this is the only product we have. They need competition. They really do. I mean, we have so many promotions out there. All we need is one developer to say, let's jump in this market. But I think there's not a lot of money in that market. It's like, what are the sales? Whenever we look at the top 10, I don't see WWE on those top 10 lists. I don't know how it's selling right now. I don't know if they even turned a profit.
Well, wait a second. I think that the most recent game was on NPD. I just don't know where it was on the.
I know it was on it when it launched, but then after that, that it dropped off. I mean, I just saw the one for December. I didn't see it. I saw a 5-year-old game, Grand Theft Auto on there, but I didn't see a WWE game on there. And then so I don't know if it's got to be a reason that, because remember, EA did the backyard wrestling for a while, and then we had the Impact that they did their own video game. I mean, there was other companies jumping in this market, and then all of a sudden it went quiet. And it's got to be the numbers. People are looking at the numbers and like, for the amount of money it costs to produce one of these, to pay licensing with one of these promotions, name rights, and all that stuff, it probably doesn't add up.
Yeah, those are good points.
I mean, what's so hard about grabbing the one that we all want? We all want another No Mercy game. Why can't they just grab that engine and put that on another game? How difficult is that? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't think that Ukes wants to admit defeat and admit that their game is trash, because that would be an indication that they're not doing a good job with their particular engine.
It's okay. They don't have to admit it. The people will speak for them by not buying the shit, and when they're not selling, and then the publisher's looking back at the studio and like, yo, what you doing here? It's like, well, we're doing something bad. That's what we're doing. But I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a big product. We all know that those games, it's deep. All the different modes, all the different variations. It's a lot of content, so I could just imagine the clusterfuck of a mess programming is, for that game. But also, it's because of that, they only have so many months to work. Like, I'm sure they're already working on 2K19. You know what I mean? When you have that short of a window of 1 year, that's not enough time for something like this. That's not enough time to rewrite, code for everything, to come up with a new engine and do all that. It's just not enough, unless they have another studio just developing that. And from the way they talk about it, unless they keep it secrets, they don't. When their spokesperson, the high guy that comes on, yo man, we got this new thing, what I'm talking about. He never talks about that. He's like, yo, we got this new feature. You power bomb the guy outside. Can't you believe it? It's like, okay, that's great, but that's not changing anything. It doesn't. The story mode still is trash.
Yeah.
Putting up the old dialogue boxes from like a PS1 era, it's not working for me. I don't want that. And I get you can't get everybody's voice work, so then don't even bother. Don't even do that. Do something else.
I will say this real quick. I think this is a very clear. I mean, it should be very clear to them that they definitely need to take time off to really reevaluate the series at this point. I know. In terms of the Nintendo Switch version, the reviews across the board had just been absolutely horrendous. So,
well, it did win the title. It won the worst game ever so far for the Switch. So it's got a name on it. It's got a name. It's famous. It's definitely famous now. So when people like, the new Switch, it got all these hits, right? Yeah. But this is one fucking game, right? This one game is real bad. Oh, which one is that? WWE 2K. You know what I mean? It's like, it's got it. If you do a search right now, worst game on the Switch, that's what comes up. And that's there for life. That is there for life. They can come up whatever they want. They can come up with all kinds of patches after, and that game might be 100% a year from now. But right now, it's garbage. And it's going to have that stigma on it. Look what happened with Battlefront 2. You know what I mean? They could say, oh, we fixed this. We did that. Oh, we took all those loot boxes. Don't worry about it. Don't matter. The stink is on them. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And then the fact that this has been, like I said, it's been over a month. And still, it's broken. And they haven't said anything. And it sucks because, I mean, it looks great. I think for what it is on the handheld, it's fine. I don't ever plug my thing into on the dock because it's horrible. All of them. I don't care what anybody's Mario. They're all horrible. You're talking to a guy who plays on the PS4, on the PS4 Pro, and my Xbox. I have a 4K TV. I see everything in 4K. I'm doing that. So when I plug this damn thing, my eyes burn. I'm like, I can't see this. This is garbage. I don't care. For me, it's a handheld device. That's it. I'll play for that. I'll play, the Zelda handheld. That's fine. I can't put that on the big screen. I tried. No good. No bueno. So I'm not doing it. No. But it's sad. It's sad that this fell apart like this. And we know it fell apart quick because WWE didn't even advertise it. On their programming, not once did they say, hey, by the way, besides Rocket League that's paying us a bunch of money, we also got a game on the Switch. No, they didn't do that.
Well, I will say that, you're right. They didn't do it. And to me, I have found that the mobile games they have, those games are 20 times better.
Oh, yeah. They advertise those to the high heavens. Like, oh, we got all these great little mobile games and our own Candy Crush type version and all this stuff. It's like, okay, but what about this Switch one? What Switch one? All right, let's go back to a match. And they won't even talk. I don't even think Xavier Woods on his Up Down YouTube channel, did he even review it? Did he talk about it?
Well, I know he played the console one. I don't know if he did.
No, that's what I'm saying. I know he did the console one, and he thought that was bullshit too. Because of the whole leveling. It's like how is it that I beat the champ, but yeah, I'm still number like 8 on the ranking list.
That is
I
the
should be
same
number
issue.
2.
The
That
same
makes no
issue with the
sense.
last game. The
That's what I'm
last
saying.
year.
But it's just horrible. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's like whenever they go, oh, we revamp, the high guy comes up, we revamp career mode is awesome. You're gonna love it. You're lying to me. You're lying to me. You're smoking too much doobie because that's not the game. Maybe you're playing a different version and that didn't get released and they didn't tell you, that the one that you played is not the one that's coming out because we didn't play that one. The one that we played was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't do it right, don't even do it. And do some other stuff, get creative, but don't do the dialogue boxes and then the cheesy leveling system and all that. And it was bad.
I agree.
So here my Switch experience with that, it was not good, and that's it.
So you tell people don't buy this game at all on Switch.
Don't buy it, and after that Nintendo Direct, don't get the damn Switch. I said it.
Oh, whoa.
I know that's a different show, but I'm just saying that did not impress me one damn bit. Port City, come on now. That's all it was. People are like, oh, but this is great. Yeah, if you didn't play those old ass games. Well, if you did, you're like, what the hell do I need this for? I already played this stuff.
That's true.
Dark Souls and all. Why do I need to go back? But it's portable. I don't care. I didn't like playing it before. I'm not gonna like playing it in my pocket. It's like, no. And they're like, oh yeah, we're bringing this game back after 10 years. Why did it take 10 years to bring that back? I'll tell you why, because nobody liked it then. And every time they thought about bringing it back within those 10 years, they say, you know what? It's not going to sell. Let's not bring it back. Nope, let's not bring it back. But now you can put anything, spit shine on a game and put on Switch, and it sells like hotcakes. So they're like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's rub this dirty ass game. We got this IP. All right, here, take it. It'll sell. People will buy it.
Absolutely.
So that's it.
So,
as much as people say they want Grand Theft Auto, I want Grand Theft Auto. No. It's like, okay, do you really want to play GTA Online on that shit? Honestly, they know. Even if they got it on there, that would not compare to consoles, and it would just diminish the experience.
Yeah, so I agree.
People don't understand. It's like, oh, GTA 5 is a big seller. Yeah, it's a big seller, but it's the online point. That part is what's keeping it afloat. People aren't just playing the story mode and and going through Trevor's experiences, waking up in a dress. No, they're doing GTA Online. They're doing the online stuff. That's a big component of what's keeping it in the top charts. So I can't. It would take a lot for that to run on the Switch, and if they do get it, it's going to be diminished. We all know that. That's the facts. We all know that. So there goes that. And I'm worried about Wolfenstein, but that's another one too. So whatever. But yeah, don't get the Switch WWE game. That's it. Hopefully, hopefully New Japan jumps on it. It's a Japanese company. They like to stick with their Japanese branding and stuff. That's why the Fire Pro's only coming out on the PlayStation and not on the Xbox.
Yeah.
So, maybe we see that. That'll be a perfect game for the Switch. Perfect game. And if here's the other thing. While we're just talking about this real quick, other things they can just bring over games that people want that we haven't seen. Bring back Skate. EA can bring back Skate. Dump that on there. These are quick games that you can take your Switch out, play a little something, and then put back in your bag. I think that'd be perfect.
I agree.
That's why they came up with all these sport games. Basketball, I haven't beat 2K on it. Just pick up game and do the blacktop mode, play some game, boom, 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 done. Put it back in my bag. That's it. I don't need some heavy experience besides Zelda. I don't need any of that crap. But that's it. Yeah, this is wrestling. So yeah, don't get the Switch. I mean the WWE.
Oh well, he said don't get the Switch.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Nintendo...
Now they're gonna write that down. Now they're gonna put it up on the Reddit, and then I'm gonna get all this freaking hate mail like last time. And
that's right. Nintendo will see this video and they will say, okay, we will not be working with the Koalition anymore.
There we go.
No, but yeah, as you said,
they already know that game, and who knows, that might have tainted that whole relationship with 2K and Nintendo. Nintendo don't play with stuff like this. They don't play because remember they were all about quality. Remember back in the day with the seal of approval. You bought a Nintendo game and had that golden seal, you knew you got a good game. We don't see no seals on these damn games. It looks like whatever you're willing to send them, they'll just post it. It's turned into Google Play for video games.
Well, Well, hey, in the case of 2K, I know that they made a big deal because they said that they had a sparse lineup of games for this year. So I did believe that's why you got the LA Noir remaster, and then you got this game dropping. They just wanted to get we got to make money this holiday season. So, but that's not good about the Switch version of 2K. That's not good at all, and no patch either.
No,
absolutely unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Yeah, it's like fix this already. It's been over a month. That's why I'm getting nervous as time goes on. I'm like, I guess they don't care. I guess they really don't care. They're just gonna let this one go and take the loss.
Yeah.
So, and that sucks for the people that did buy it, because that's the thing. Who knows? Maybe they can see the full, install rate of people signing in and say, you know what? We only sold, I don't know, 50,000 copies. You want to keep working on this or just cut our losses? They might just give up and say, yeah, forget it. And that sucks for the people that do have it.
Well, I definitely hope the 2K is listening to the feedback. I will be sure I will be sure to send them this video and let them know, listen, y'all need to be working on this patch.
Oh, I do it all the time. And whenever they post something on Twitter, I'm like, oh, you can simulate this match and, over with that three-way, the Braun and the Kane and some on WWE 2K18, and I'll just send them a reply in caps, not on the Switch. It's like, wake up. One guy would tell me, he's like, well, we're not the devs that work on it. Yeah, don't pass the buck like that. You're still the spokesperson for this brand. It doesn't matter. You're still going to be linked to it. So,
yeah, absolutely. Wait, what did you say, Dana?
They did try to do something back in December in order to fix the Switch's many glitches.
Yeah, they put some weird patch, but it didn't fix anything. They were like, oh, it's going to do something with the load time, but it made it worse. And that's it. They didn't fix any of the frame rate issues that people were having. I mean, you can't play any of the other modes. You can only play singles mode. And they know that. And they left it alone.
Wow. Yeah, they don't care at all about this game.
No.
Well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, as Adam said, do not buy the game on Switch. Or don't buy the game, at all. Just don't bother. Just don't bother. Just, you can watch the product. Maybe if the product is somewhat decent. But I don't know. That's a whole nother issue there. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the next topic because obviously I wanted to ask you both if you had any highlights that you liked on this week's edition of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live. I do have a few that I wanted to mention, but I'm going to actually let y'all go first. So Dana, feel free to let us know what you enjoyed about Raw this past week.
I enjoyed. I really did enjoy the whole Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt situation, and I love their skits that they do together. Even with them just laughing, I thought for me that just was like the highlight. I don't know how long they're gonna, plan on working together with them. I don't know where it's going to end up storyline wise. But for that moment before WWE decides to completely ruin it, I truly enjoyed it. So that was one of my main things. And I'm really interested also in Braun. I like Braun. Braun and Brock Lesnar, I'm kind of not going to lie. I'm kind of maybe excited for that whole situation. So, because you have this Braun is just sitting up there, just, basically he killed Brock Lesnar. And the
what
other
the hell was that? It was like a huge scaffolding, but it was backstage. What was it doing there?
But you could tell that they wasn't there anymore. Like the camera cut so they could, remove themselves. So they would just, have the scaffolding come down and everybody would be in shock and awe and oh my God, they're dead. But the way that Brock was able to sell was just amazing. And to me, it made me interested in the match coming up. Because remember when he basically picked him up and just flung him against those carts. It was like a cart and then the wall. And he just, everything just toppled over him. Yeah. And then that's when he pulled down the scaffolding. And it took a while because he was hooking everything up, and I think that's the time when they gave him that time for him to move.
I just thought it was kind of cool that he just grabbed a grappling hook. I'm like, Sam, where do you just find one of those? Somebody was like, we got this grappling hook right here. Here we go.
It was so random. I didn't know if he was gonna like start climbing things or maybe like attach. I don't know, what was it, like the cards?
Don't you remember the old days when they just pulled things down with their bare hands? Yeah. Remember, like, they pushed it? No, he has a grappling hook now.
I didn't know if he was going to do that. Maybe a lance to it again. I didn't know what was going on, but I was very much interested in it. And I would say for me, that was like the highlight of everything.
All right.
That was, and then Kane. And my best part, you know how they was getting everybody out for Kane, so he just had to pick his own self up and like find his own footing to his own wounds. That was just funny about him.
Yeah, so
for me that was.
Oh no, go ahead, continue.
That was like the main highlight. Like that was the reason that and I really do enjoy Hardy. So that was like the two main reasons.
All right, so I'm gonna go real quick. I also enjoyed Matt Hardy's entrance. Yeah, couldn't help but laugh that whole time. They did all of that, you know. And then of course the little interaction with Bray Wyatt. Now, obviously, I still believe that you know, I'm glad to see them doing something with Matt Hardy. I still don't believe that Bray Wyatt will get out of this feud on the winning end. You know, maybe you could say that maybe his character, you know, is looked upon a little bit better, but I still think no matter what, he will lose. Like he loses pretty much every feud that he gets in. But still.
But here's the weird thing. I don't think the feud was for him. I think it was for Woken Hardy to get that character up.
Oh yeah. Oh no. It's all about Matt Hardy right now.
And this is actually one of those dream matches, because even when he was Broken Matt Hardy and he was out there, people were like, damn, this would be great if he was feuding with Bray, you know, because they were doing all those crazy videos back at the compound and stuff. This would be awesome. And now we're getting it. Yeah,
we're definitely going to get it. I mean, I'm looking forward to the feud. I just will say, you know, Bray Wyatt as a character, you know, this guy has an absolutely horrible win-loss record. Pretty much loses to everybody. I mean, I will say that he did win an award that I think is he very much deserves, and that is the award that he got some time with JoJo. So I got to give him props for that. But that's about all that I'll give him props on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, the Matt thing was great. I love the Braun segment. That was hilarious to me. And Brock Lesnar, you know, the only issue I have with that again is that we already know how this match ends. We know that they're not going to give the belt to Braun because they want Brock Lesnar to lose that title at WrestleMania, unless of course that has changed. To my guess will be Roman Reigns. But we'll see about that. We'll get into that later, I'm sure. But yeah, I thought those segments were great. If I had to add on to another segment that I thought was great, you know, I'm glad to see The Miz back. You know, they have this whole thing about him now challenging for his IC title on the Raw 25th show. I think he definitely will get the belt back. I'm a little disappointed, though, when he gave his speech and he said, well, yeah, my goal for 2018 is to become the best Intercontinental Champion ever. That tells me right there they have absolutely no vision whatsoever to put him at a higher pedestal and give him a much more important belt. And that's unfortunate, but, you know, listen, I guess if he's good as IC champion, then just, I guess, leave it as is.
They're giving him movies. He just did the Marine 20 or some shit. They just keep making those. And I stopped watching after the first one. You know, I think, we had Randy Orton do it. We had the Ted DiBiase was the Marine, right? Oh, even Mr. Anderson, right? Mr. Anderson was one of the Marines. Oh, boy, of course, John Cena was the first one.
Yeah, that's the straight to DVD movies.
Straight to digital now, yeah. But not on the network. Don't get it twisted. You still can't watch these movies on their network.
Absolutely.
Don't get that, though. Why?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm glad to see him back. You know, we'll see how he's used moving forward. The last thing I will add, and then I'll go on to you, Adam, is now Now, I don't really like how WWE has handled the club ever since these guys have been there. Now that they have him aligned with them both aligned with Finn Balor for Balor Club. Now, I don't like the Balor Club name thing because I think that's a little retarded. But when we all know it's the Bullet Club, but I mean, I'm glad to see these guys together. I know AJ Styles. They had an interview with him recently, and they asked him what did he think about it. He's also interested, and he thought it would be interesting if at some point all four of them were able to do something together. But at the same time, he likes the fact that he's on SmackDown. He has the world title. You know, everybody is in different places doing different stuff. And I think I agree. That's great. However, I do feel when they do that draft shakeup again, AJ Styles may be going back to Raw. But I mean, we'll have to see about that. But for now, I'm glad to see that they're actually using Balor with the club. Now, I don't know what they're going to do. I know that they kept saying that 2018 is the year of Balor Club. That would lead me to believe that he should be a favorite to win the Royal Rumble. But obviously, I still think Roman Reigns, because Vince, he has an obsession with Roman Reigns. So I don't know until I'm proven wrong. But I'm very curious to see what they do with them. But we'll see.
I hate.
What you say?
I hate that concept with a passion, because it's like, yeah, we have something of a Bullet Club, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's like some stripped, watered down kids version. It's basically like having your favorite athlete and he's now a paraplegic. My athlete, who's now a paraplegic, try to wrestle again. I don't like that concept. I would rather them just to not acknowledge the club at all. Don't have them wrestle together. I hate that whole concept of them running around saying nerd every like 5 seconds. I don't get it. Maybe because I'm not 3, but you take a group that was amazing together. Their chemistry was amazing. They could wrestle. They flowed. Everything worked. And you really wanted to belong to them. To me, it was like the same feeling that you got when you had the original NWO before all 20 people came in. So, but to take that and then now it's just this watered down shell of itself, it's an insult, and I want nothing to do with it. I would rather everybody just either leave the company or you just don't acknowledge that they even know each other.
All right.
Well, we'll see.
Well, this is my whole thing on this, because this is because all right, when they first showed up, right, everybody was like, at least when it comes to Gallows, you know, and Anderson, when they showed up and they had their own little gimmick and all that stuff, and they went for the titles, like, okay, well, they didn't really mention, they kept mentioning big stars in Japan, but they didn't bring up the Bullet Club. But then once they brought Finn up from NXT, and then they started bringing it up. Now in this Raw, if everybody listens, you hear Corey Graves talking about how there's other imitators, but there's only one creator, and that, you know, they were part of this big faction over in Japan, and that these were the founders. And then they started showing old pictures and stuff of all of them hanging out, you know, and doing that. And they even did a special on the network. They're going all in on this, you know. And my thing is, like, what's the incentive? What's the whole thing? Like, is this just vindictiveness because of what happened with the Young Bucks? You know, is this what it is? Is this just to get back at them? Because they could have did this once they picked up all these names. I mean, they have AJ was part of it. We have Shinsuke who was part of it. You know what I mean? It's like you got the biggest stars from that group. You know, so yeah, you're saying that they were the ones that were, you know, the creators and the founders and all that, but you didn't do anything with it. But then this whole thing with Bullet Club taking the picture and saying all this stuff, not only did they fire the dude that took the picture with them, you know, who worked at WWE at the time, but then they tried to sue them, told them they couldn't use a Too Sweet, you know, thing anymore. And so now we know why, because now these dudes are doing it nonstop, you know. And it's just, I don't get it. And to me, I still don't think that they're a group. You know how you know in WWE there's a group? Do you know? When you get your own entrance and theme song. When they get there, yeah. When you see these three coming out with a new theme song and an entrance, you're a faction. If you don't do that, you're just some buddies that paired up. You know, and right now they just paired up for Balor Club, which is even Bullet Club before, when I heard that, sound ridiculous. I'm like, you collect bullets. I don't get the logo was cooler than the name, but the wrestlers behind it were great, and even now to this day, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of members, but like Marty Scurll and stuff, there's some great characters, great wrestlers in that, so that helps, but I don't see where they're going with this. And like I said, unless they get the music and the entrance, then it's legit, but right now it's just, Balor teaming up with his tag team buddies. And then it's like when they walk down to the ring, they sort of read off their resume of what they've done in, WWE since they arrived. We've won the tag belts and he's the first Universal Champ and we did our own thing. So now we're teaming up together again to bring back the brothers and the club. And it's like, to do what? Like, it seems, and Finn Balor, he smiles too much. He's just way too happy. He didn't do all that as Prince Devitt over in Japan. He's all Kool-Aid right now, and I can't take it serious. And it's like he's having such a good time, and it bothers me. It's like if you want to come out, and that's the thing, Bullet Club, they were a bad faction. They're the villains. Then come out and start kicking everyone's ass and throw some attitude on it. Sprinkle that attitude on top of it. They didn't have any of that right now. They're missing all of that.
I agree.
So it's like that vibe is not there. And it sort of also reminded me of sort of like what Dana was saying with the NWO, but it was more of like when WWE picked up WCW and then they said, you know what, we're bringing the NWO back. And then they tried to bring it back and it already was like too late, and none of this matters and we're over it, and in this case, I think that the universe, hell, the universe don't even watch NXT, and that's a WWE product. So I know they definitely don't watch New Japan, like the majority of them, if they're not watching what's on the network, okay? So this is their chance to really create something new. You can keep saying all this stuff, oh, they're from Japan. You know what? The hardcores know that. The hardcores know it. So you're preaching to the choir with that. Then if you know that, tell Finn, hey, what worked over there? What did you do that worked? You and your gals in a break. Well, then do that. Do that here. Can you do that here? Because there's no copyright on that, right? No, there isn't. Okay, then do it here. That's it. And make it work. That's why when people what was it? Was it in a Rumble? No, it was a ladder match. Yeah, it was a ladder match, a Money in the Bank match. And when AJ and Shinsuke were about to climb the ladder, remember? And they moved that ladder, that place went nuts. Because these people, especially when it comes to big pay-per-views, they knew. And they've known the matches that those dudes had in Japan. And they want to see that. Will we ever see those matches? That's WWE's call, because you get your 20 move set and you got to stick to that script. There's only so many things you do. I can't see him trying to do, AJ trying to do a Styles Clash from the second turnbuckle. So it's are we ever going to see those things? Are we going to see Kevin Owens pull out his whole repertoire? I don't think so. That's just not the WWE way. Unless that changes, we're not going to see what we're expecting, and we're all expecting something that's not going to happen. It's never happened for us in the past. Think of ECW. Think of all the names that came from ECW. And people are like, oh yeah, I can't wait till he shows up. Can't wait till Rob Van Dam. Rolling Thunder, Frog Splash. Okay, there we go. It's like he was more than that, but we didn't see it. We didn't get it. What about my boy Sabu? Did everything. Homicidal, genocidal, suicidal. The man was nuts, and they toned him down. And I get it for safety reasons, this and that, but then put them like that on the pay-per-view. Have them bring out all the stops on the pay-per-view. That gives more incentive for people to watch their pay-per-view. So back with the Bullet Club, I just don't see that. With the Matt Hardy, the Bray Wyatt, that's cool. That laugh was way too long, laughing back and forth. I felt like, I went, made a sandwich, came back, still laughing, went upstairs, took my kids to bed, came back, they're still laughing. I'm like, what is it? My DVR just broke. It froze. It's looping. What is? It. That was too long in the ring. And I get it. We like the laugh. He does a great laugh, but it's just don't burn it out. Don't burn it out. And the other thing is that when Matt Hardy keeps talking about deleting him, he says, we are going to delete you. We are going to, he's saying as we, and I'm wondering, I mean, I know Brother Nero's not ready, his brother Jeff, but they picked up Crazy Steve. And Crazy Steve was also, he's like an evil clown and stuff. He was also part of that whole thing that was going on in Impact, So I wonder if he's going to play a part in it, if he's going to have his own group of people. which I think he should. And hell, we all know Bray needs those what's it, the Bastion brothers, what the Brawler brothers, some dumbass name. The Bruiser, what are they called on SmackDown?
The Bludgeon Brothers.
Bludgeon brother. That's ridiculous. You come down with sledgehammers, you don't lose a sledgehammer. What's the point? What's the point? Triple H used to come down and he actually hit people with the sledgehammer. So I don't care. If they're still the same dudes, everybody knows it. They're not doing anything. Throw them back with Bray. They could always still be part of the Wyatt family, and they can still do a tag team, but just part of the Wyatt family. It'll be perfect now, but who knows? We might not see that either, And what was the other one that we were talking about that? Sad news came from Monday was with Samoa Joe getting hurt. Now we're hearing that he's not even going to be able to compete in Royal Rumble. Not like he was going to win, but still, I would like to see him in the Rumble. And it sucks because this is a different injury. He just came back from his arm injury, and now he's got this.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. That was unfortunate to hear. Also, because this is now the second year that he has not been in the Royal Rumble, because we thought he was going to debut last year, and then he ended up coming after that. So, yeah, it sucks.
They held him off. They held him off from that, and now it's like, man, I wish you did, because. Man, it's one of those things, because now this is a wheel, this is his foot, this can be a serious problem, and he's been doing this a long time, and it's sad that he's not at the point of like when Sting showed up at WWE where it was like, oh man, we'd like to have all these matches, but he's not going to be able to do it. He can still go, but it's getting harder, and we're seeing the wear and tear of all those years of wrestling with him having all these injuries. I don't remember him having all these injuries before. So that really sucks, because I'm a big Samoa Joe fan, but and then that was it. Everything else was just filler. Yeah, you like the Miz. I'll never get behind the Miz. I don't. Yeah, he's good on the mic and stuff, but it doesn't do anything for me. I could care less about seeing him wrestle.
So you will be watching his new reality show with Marie?
I'm not gonna watch any reality show. I don't watch. Whenever they send me those surveys, do you want to see more? I don't even want to see the ones you have now. And I click on those. Like, no, total bellas, total waste of time. I don't want to see that. I don't care how they live their life. You know what? I got my own life to live. I don't want to sit on the couch watching somebody. Oh, look, they went outside. I could be going outside too. But let me watch these girls run around on the beach and talk about how hard life is with all the money they have. No, I don't need that. I don't need it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the whole thing. And it's like, and that's why I never understood those reality shows. Unless it's something meaningful. Like the only one reality show that they have on that network that I think makes sense, Ride Along. That sort of makes sense. Okay, because when you're in a car, we've all been in cars with people doing like a road trip, whatever, and you shoot the shit. You start talking stuff. The problem with this show is that they know they're on camera. So obviously they're not going to get too loose in the lips, unless they're at the point where they don't care.
But Ride Along came because of Total Divas.
I don't think they're the same thing at all.
No, because there was a segment in Total Divas where everybody was in separate cars and they would just stories.
But I feel like they did that on everything. I remember even Mick Foley's show. Whenever they're traveling, we see in almost every reality show. Whenever people, whether the mob wives or whatever, there are always cameras in the car as they're commuting. Or even that comedian. What was that? The one for the night show that does the sing-alongs.
Oh, car karaoke.
Yeah, car karaoke. There they go. Well, this is car chat. They're just talking, and the only problem is that sometimes they're not saying anything worth listening to, and other times they actually do. There was this one where was it Bailey and Sasha were traveling, and then Bailey jumped out of the car because it was stuck in traffic because she saw Neville in a car like 2 rows away. So she runs across on the highway and she starts banging on his window. It's like, hey, can I take a picture? He didn't even recognize her, and he was like, no. He didn't want to take a picture. He's like, come on, we'll take a picture. She's like, no, he's waving her off. And I guess it makes sense. Some crazy nut runs up to you on the highway, banging on your window. Good thing he didn't have a gun or something. I'm like, some people get shot for that. I was like, yo, I'm about to get robbed. It's like, oh, this could have really went wrong. But I thought that was kind of cool. You get to hear these guys talk and see them travel and stuff. That's it. But then, of course, I don't know if anybody watching or whatever, but that whole thing with we talked about with Corey Graves doing his show, straight from the source. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk to Enzo and hear Enzo do his BS and talk all this smack. I'm telling you, I still think the whole thing's a work. All of it's a work.
It was entertaining, and to me, I didn't know when the work stopped or begun.
I think it was some real issues there. About the bus and the Wrestler's Court. We all know that's real shit. That's been on forever with Undertaker doing it now. Supposedly Reigns is in charge. Whatever. That's just the way it is. We know that. So if they don't like him, we know that too. But I think all this other stuff of him, they're just playing off of it. They're like, just keep it up. Because if we were to believe that's real, somebody would have tried to hurt him in the ring. You know what I mean? Remember when he got that beat down? When everybody jumped him and they cut that off camera and they were like, oh yeah, we don't want to show it. He should have been mangled. There's no way he should have came back. And then that's a bully mentality right there. WWE, you're against bullying and you're telling your 205 guys to break kayfabe and go and kick this guy's ass in the ring. Come on now. So I think all of it. It's just they're just playing off of it. It's like the Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler type thing. So Corey Graves now is playing that role of like, oh well, well, you gave me that low blow about me and my family. You're like, well, I won my first title in a low blow. It's like, yep, this is scripted. You wrote that shit. No, it's a setup. It's a setup. Come on. So now you have the commentator who's going to constantly bash the wrestler who's a champ, and they'll get in their bickerings and stuff, and just to build that tension. But it's pointless. I still don't think it'll last. I don't think his whole gimmick will last because he's all talk. He can't perform in the ring. He could take bumps. Bumps is fine, but there's only so many bumps you have in your bump card before you get really hurt. And he's been hurt. He's had the concussion. He's had the broken leg. It's like he's not the mainstay up there. I mean, I think the fact that this even had to happen, yeah, he should be there, but there's so many quality wrestlers there, that know how to wrestle. There's some great wrestling. We have to remember that there's great wrestling, and I get it. They try to do the story aspects and stuff, but the quality is just not there in the ring. Hell, what the hell is his finisher? What the hell is that? Is he pulling the arm? Is he kicking the neck? What is he doing? I don't even know what that is. And then they lay out like they got knocked out. How did you get knocked out? It looked like he just pulled your arm. Shouldn't your arm hurt? I don't even know what they're supposed to sell on that move, but
yeah, I think that is a dumb finisher also. But,
yeah, it's like it doesn't make any sense.
Well, say what?
All the stuff with Cass is that's all BS also. That's all BS.
Really?
It's all BS. Yeah, none of that stuff is real. There's no way. Those guys have been friends for a long time. There's no way he's gonna back it, say all those things on Twitter and then be legit about it. And they're just playing it up. This continues the story. So when Kaz comes back, they can keep going with it. That's it. We're like, oh well, he's still pissed because he said all this stuff about him on Twitter. They're not gonna break the whole storyline just because the dude got hurt. So I don't believe it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You know what? Maybe if Carmella comes out and spits in his face and starts crying, why are you talking about my man that way? Maybe I'll believe it. Like a Jerry Springer type thing. But right now, I don't.
Oh, well, wait a second. Well, hold on a second.
They broke up.
Yeah,
they just bought a house.
Oh yeah, no, they are no longer in item according to the reports.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
See, I'm telling you, Mick Foley was right. In his first book, he talked about it. He was like, the women, he said, this is a sad thing, but the whole Divas, Vince only put that there to make the guys happy on the road because they were getting into bar fights and stuff and messing with women and all this drama. So he was like, well, I'll just bring women on the road.
Well,
and
hey,
that's it.
Well, it is unfortunate, but you do know what it means now, right?
What?
Man,
it means that James Ellsworth has a fighting chance now at getting Carmella. So
he's unemployed too, at least. I mean, not from they let him go. So I mean, that's it. So was this his choice, her choice? I mean,
I don't really know.
Sometimes these people are dumb. They're all dumb, and they post it of "I'm finally free." They say stupid things like that. So that's why I'm asking. But
I'm not sure what the origin is of who started what. All I know is that the reports were saying that they're no longer together.
The way how it's spun is that they got into this huge fight thing, and she removed all references and all pictures of him on their social media.
Oh, whatever.
It's technically she ended it.
Whatever. They see that's the thing, man. Don't make big commitments like that. Then this reminds you of the Billy Kidman, Tori Wilson. Remember that? Got married to the whole thing. Then he got hurt, and then she was still on the road, and that was it. The marriage is over.
And remember, Liv Morgan also.
Oh yeah, and Enzo. Yeah. But it's a circus. It's a traveling circus. And, if you get off that circus train, you're left behind. You're still at that old town that they passed. See you on the reruns, because it's not happening. Gonna move on to the next, and this is just like whatever. It reminds me of that old skit that what's it Dave Chappelle did when he was talking about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, and he's like, why did he pick Monica? He's like, I don't know. In my mind, I pictured that he just opened up the door. He was real horny. He's like, you come here, and that's the way I see it. I see it like that. It's like you're on the road all the time, and then you see a person day in, day out. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Nothing. You want to do this? Okay. Next, you get a Paige video, where somebody's filming.
Oh no! Wait a second. But we'll talk about Paige later, but we have to be somewhat respectful.
No. It's but there's nothing wrong with that. But that's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that. They're just having fun. They're on the road. They're not married. You know what I mean? They don't have kids. They're just being young. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with it. But please do not film any of this stuff.
Well, there's something wrong with it. I don't understand the whole point of it. But you know what? Some people like to watch later. They're like I said, they're always on the road. We don't know. The other guy is probably going to go do some other stuff. I'm like, damn, I need to watch these. Who knows? But the whole point is that these relationships, they really shouldn't be taken serious because they come and they go. Even if they get married, like I'm waiting to hear about Rusev and Lana. They just bought a house, and who knows when that. I don't watch the total Bellas or Divas or whatever they call it that they're on, but you'll see the highlights during the network on the network, and they show that they're fighting about something. Like I don't care. They shouldn't be together. No, none of these people should be taken serious. We shouldn't care about any of this stuff, because they're just on the road. Things are gonna happen, just the way it is.
That's true. You're right.
That's it. We've all heard it before, even with the CM Punk, and I think he got into everybody's pants when he was there. What?
So did Cena. That's why he has that big contract.
Yeah. So did exactly. So did Cena and the whole Mickey James and stuff, and she lost her job because of it. It's all kinds of stuff. But I'm still trying to figure out if that was what happened with Chrissy Hemme, with why she left. That she was with somebody, because she said she left. It was bad term, but she didn't want to talk about it, and she never went back. But
I don't know.
She just had quadruplets. You heard that? She had a bunch of babies.
I did hear about that. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's it. But but that's it. That was a long explanation for Raw. But yeah.
What's that? What?
Triple H.
What about Triple H?
Yeah, that's why she was fired.
He fired her?
Well, it was a company decision. It was best for business that she be fired.
Was it best for business to put her in Playboy? Like, come on now. Like, what was best for business? She was still doing it.
It got back to Stephanie, because remember at that time she was married to Batista.
Who was married to Batista?
Chrissy Hemme.
She was married to Batista? I didn't know that.
Damn.
Yeah, man. I think that Dana knows all the tea. I didn't know about any of this information.
I didn't know that. So wait, so even when Marlena, that was Marlena, right? When she was having an affair, that he was still married to Christy?
Understanding that what happened was, Hemme was rumored, the thing alleged, that she was having an affair with Triple H. It got back to Stephanie, who was, extremely unhappy.
Oh, I can't. No.
He was also with Batista. Of different people at the same time, but once you mess with Triple H,
Oh, I can't. No, I can't envision this. No, no. First of all, that's Vince's baby girl. What? Oh, dude, cheating on my. He would have been out. They would have fired his ass. He would have been jobbing till this day if he stayed. No, I don't believe that. But maybe there's got to be something else with the Batista thing.
Oh, my bad. She was not married to Batista. Triple H was traveling with Batista, and so Chrissy was messing with both of them.
Oh, damn. But Triple H was married at the time, right?
Yes. They was married. This was back in 2005. Remember, she was released in December.
Damn. All right. Well.
So they was like, "Oh, we're gonna fake it because you don't want it to get out that Triple H is having an affair." So they faked it and they said that it was because of budget cuts and that the creative had nothing for her.
Yeah. Which AKA it is what's best for business. So
well, they had something creative for her, but that would have been a different type of video. Oh, oh,
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, but well, there goes the Raw report right there with all that crap. But
that's I think that's it for Raw. That's it for Raw. One quick question to ask. This topic will probably be a little bit shorter. So, Data actually wanted to ask the question: what can we expect from the 25th anniversary of Raw? I would like to answer this question first, and I expect a long ass show. Because
hours.
This is it is going to be 5 hours.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Because I know Triple H and Stephanie released a statement talking about the show is coming together, and they said we'll have plenty of surprises in all 5 hours of the show. And I thought to myself, now this is the Raw before Royal Rumble. So I really don't understand why it's that long. And now, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to get Miz versus Roman Reigns for the IC title.
But it's also at two different venues at the same time. They're at the Barclays Center and they're at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah. So here's a question now. Is all of that going to be broadcasted on USA? Like, is all of this or is some of this stuff going to be off-site?
My understanding, what I'm thinking is that it's going to happen live in both spots. It's going to be sort of like when they had Raw and Nitro, remember? And they would cut from back and forth. And I think that's what they're going to do. And I wouldn't be surprised because it's only about an hour and a half drive because the Barclay, it's on Atlantic Avenue, and you take that over right to the Brooklyn Bridge, and then you can get toward Midtown to the Garden and vice versa. So if, let's say, they do a segment or whatever early on each part, because they said that all the legends are going to be at the Hammerstein, because that's when Raw first aired on that one. And I can see them, once they do some segment in the beginning, some of those guys getting into a van and then just off to the Barclay, and then doing something there, so that way people there get to see the legends also. So I can see something like that happening because they're so close, and there has to be a reason they decided to do it that way. I'm sure they would have preferred to have the Garden because that's only a few blocks away from the Hammerstein, but Garden's way too expensive these days.
Mm-hmm.
So there goes that. But that's my understanding. I'm thinking they're going to do everything, but I didn't know the 5 hours. That's a long time, man. Wait, what time is it starting then?
Oh, it still starts at the regular time, right?
Understanding is that it's 3 on on USA, and then the 2 on the network.
Oh, so then it's man.
So from 8 to 11 is the regular time with the Raw, 3 hours, and then the 2 additional hours on the network, maybe.
Yeah, but I can't possibly see there being 5 hours on the network.
That's Well, I will say that is a lot of wrestling for one night, and this is not even a pay-per-view.
There's no confirmation if the whole show will also be later broadcasted on the network, which is stupid if they don't do that.
Well, they don't ever do that because remember you still got the Hulu cuts and they got that deal with Hulu, so they got to put all this stuff on Hulu before they go on the network. So we're not going to see that. They'll show the highlights. They do that Raw highlight thing, but.
Interesting. So, what do y'all have any expectations of what will be at this anniversary special?
What do you have, Dana?
Well, legends, preferably the good ones who are still alive and clean.
Oh, did you see the list of the legends?
I did. It's going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ric
The Bellas.
Flair.
The Bellas were on that list, and I'm like, what? Why are they listed as legends?
They're legends.
Legends
they have
of
that
what?
legendary show, the Bella twins. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Ric Flair, Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Twins, JBL, Ron Simmons, the Dudley Boys, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and the New Age Outlaws. So
no Sting.
No Sting, which
Undertaker,
he's alive.
Yeah, and he was in advertising for the WWE game.
Undertaker, but no Sting.
I don't understand that. One thing I will say that I do think that we'll definitely see. I mean, I don't really know the full card for Royal Rumble quite yet, but I know that there are some matches that you might as well just have either on that show or the Raw after, and I think that we'll probably see the Woken Matt Bray match also for that same night. Because I highly doubt that's going to be at the Royal Rumble. You know, they have all these other matches they have. I don't know if they're going to give that a spot on that card yet. But if I had to make
they haven't announced when they're having their match, right?
Yeah, they haven't announced anything.
And even if they have the match is not going to be in a ring. If they stick with the whole broken and all that has to be done somewhere off camera. That's the gimmick, you know. He does these crazy on B-roll film type, you know, off somewhere in like an abandoned building, you know, before he was doing it in the compound. So I don't know if they're going to go that far out, but you know, they'll do something off camera somewhere else. That's how he does his stuff.
Well, on that note, maybe it's possible it will be at the Rumble, but I don't know. I don't know about that.
You know, like the way we saw Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt at the creepy house.
That match that had to be one of the worst matches that I saw.
Well, there you go. You'll probably get more of that if you didn't like that, man. But they could definitely do something at the Hammerstein, because the Hammerstein, it used to be an opera house of a sort. It used to be a Broadway house, you know. So the layout has that toward, you know, the seating, everything is pointed down toward the stage. It's higher up and stuff. Pretty cool. I've gone there for ECW events. So if they get there early, they could probably spoof it up and do some kind of match there, where he's on stage with a piano, you know, because that's his whole thing, you know. Matt Hardy. It'll be cool. But we'll see. That's the thing. I don't know. It all depends. I mean, the beauty of all this with the Woken is that it's all his idea. You know what I mean? It's not like we're waiting for creative to come up with something. This is all Matt, and Matt knows how to make this work because it worked before. That's why they brought it back. So I'm hoping and I'm assuming they're giving him creative control with this until it goes off the rail and stop making money. I mean, I'm sure the T-shirts are being printed right now. You know, so from the response of the crowd, this is going to be big, you know. So at least they got to give him the benefit of doubt and say, all right, do the match type you think is going to work. And Bray is all in on it, so I think it's going to be great. And hopefully it's not a one-off. You know, I can see this if they play it right, sort of like, you know, the 8-match feud that Bray had with Dean Ambrose, right? Remember they had like a match type of everything, ambulance, the ladder, you know, knife fight. I feel like they constantly fought. It's like every week they were fighting.
Yeah.
So I could see that. I could see that with this. This should not be a one-off. You know, this definitely shouldn't be a one-off. This can build, if they're smart, hell, this can go all the way to Mania. You know, depending on how they do it, but they need to build these groups up. You know, that's the whole thing with the Woken. He had his, you know, his son Maxwell, Sir Maxwell. He had his wife. He had his father-in-law. He had his brother. I mean, it was a family affair. He had all this stuff. So they can do that, but we'll see. I don't know how far they're gonna go with all of it, but they can do it. You know, and Undertaker. I'm expecting Undertaker to make an announcement. I think he's gonna have a match.
Oh, what? John Cena at WrestleMania?
I don't want to see that. I don't know why people give a shit about this. I don't care. I don't care about it. You know,
I want to see Undertaker wrestle.
I want to see him wrestle Sting, and I don't care if they both like move around like old men and start love tapping each other. I just want to see them both in the ring. They're both gonna have an amazing entrance. I just want to see that, and that's it. Hell, it would be great if they had their entrance, they get in the ring, the lights go out, the lights come back on, Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, Pete, both of them up, and that's it. Match is over. It never happened. That's fine. At least I got to see them in the ring together. Give me that moment. And we never had it. I mean, the only picture we have of them together isn't even official WWE. It's somebody taking a picture of them at an airport. It's like, oh, look, Sting and Undertaker talking at the airport. Well, there you go. That's all we got. Because that's what people want. We wanted to see gimmick versus gimmick, and it didn't happen.
I agree. Well, I as for the whole Undertaker Cena thing, I think that they've missed the opportunity to have that match. That match should have happened a while ago. It could have happened last year when people actually wanted to see the match. But then they had Undertaker Reigns. And then Undertaker already has lost at WrestleMania. So the match won't even feel the same when they actually have it now.
I don't want to see that match. That's what I'm saying. Like, and the Boogeyman is coming back. You forgot the Boogeyman's going to be there. And Papa Shango. But I think he's gonna be at the Pimp or whatever.
The Godfather.
He's gonna do that whole thing with the whole train, which I think is very PC right now. So I don't know if he should come out bringing up a bunch of hoes. No.
Well, he did his whole thing the last time. He just didn't have any physical hoes there.
He at the Hall of Fame he did it, and he had girls escort him out. Remember? But that was before the whole Me Too thing started. So I just don't know if that would be a good look for the company right now.
Be careful with that catchphrase.
Because people try to link things up and then they'll link it up, and I mean we saw it already with Trump as president and showing where he jumped on Steve Austin. No, on Vince McMahon. Remember he did that press on him and stuff, and people will link all that shit again. So. But then again, the one clip that they don't send out, and I found it, I mean, it's out there, is when Trump took the stunner from Steve Austin. And when he gave him a stunner in the ring. He really likes wrestling. He was a GM for a while. Remember when he did the GM stuff?
Well, yeah, I think, it's more of an admiration thing, because if you ever watch This Is FXL and you listen to Vince's speech, and if you watch it side by side with any of Trump's speeches, or even conversations with journalists, you can see the exact same type of expressions.
Yeah. Well, rich guys.
Yeah.
Got their own businesses. But that's what
Oh, sorry.
Nope. That's it. That's all I'm expecting. I'm hoping Undertaker makes an announcement. I mean, my thing is all these guys coming out, we know they're not going to wrestle. We know Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are not teaming up to do a match against the Dudleys or any of that stuff. Kevin Nash just had knee surgery again. So he's not.
Go ahead.
So I think there's just going to be a bunch of people in the backstage area. I think it's going to be one of those where someone's being interviewed and it's like, oh, look who else is here. Oh, $1 Million Man is here, and he's going to have his belt and do the and they're going to do those type of things. But what I was surprised about when I saw all this, like, no Mick Foley. He lives in Long Island. He's so close. How do you not have Mick Foley come out? How do you not have The Rock there? How can you not do the Rock and Sock connection? You know what I mean? It's like,
you just brought up a very good point. I feel like, it really makes no sense for The Rock not to be there. Obviously, he's off in Hollywood doing his movies, but
he was a big part of that. He was a big part of Raw.
Yeah. So I don't understand that. And Mick Foley, you said also great. I mean, some of this stuff could be surprises too. I mean, there could be some surprises, but I feel like they would have announced The Rock in that case, because they already know people would tune in for that, just like they announced Austin. So,
and I know Rob Van Dam said he was supposed to be there, but because of his concussions, so I guess they had plans to do something with him physically, and that got scrapped.
So
they can't use him. And it's funny that because for those who did get the WWE game, then you know that if you got the deluxe, you get Batista and RVD. They never advertised it, but they just pop up in there. They're like, oh yeah, you got Batista and RVD. When was the last time you seen either guy in a wrestling ring? But they didn't talk about it. They just give it to you. We're like, okay, here you go. Kind of funny.
Well, it's been rumored that The Rock and Hulk Hogan might make an appearance.
Hulk Hogan.
That would.
They did the whole thing in the sun.
Well, who is Hogan? He was just advertised with somebody. They were advertising something with him.
Because they did bring up his name in someone's interview.
Who was it? Eric Bischoff is going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, there was something. Hogan was linked to something recently because I know the Young Bucks wanted Hogan to join Bullet Club in Japan. They wanted him to come down to the ring. That didn't happen. But I know they put that offer out there. But man, no, he was advertised with somebody. I don't know what it is. Or was it Sting? I think it was Sting. Yeah, it was Sting. Hogan and Sting were doing some kind of like tour or something together, promoting some content. But I don't know. Hey, you know what? Maybe they can bring him back. I mean, who knows?
They could. And also there's been a clarification. Apparently, WWE went on a tour a couple days ago with the Critics Association. It's, for those who don't know, it's basically a bunch of critics who are in the organization of the TCA. They have this annual event in California where all of the networks come together and they talk about their shows. WWE was there to talk about the Raw 25th anniversary special, and they ended up sending out the wrong message. The show is actually 3 hours. It's not 5. They just clarified this. The confusion was that there was 2 different locations. So that's how everything got confused. So everything is on the USA Network for 3 hours.
And what about this VR stuff? Did you hear about this? They're doing shows in VR, and I was like, what is that? How is that linking with all of this? It's like, then we got that Facebook matchup thing. I'm like,
oh yeah, we're gonna get into
that's
that.
A little crazy, but yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
They want to. I know that they started this back in 2016, but like now you're fully able to do this, and that you're able to step in the ring with wrestlers and get that experience when they enter into the ring.
Can I get when they call spots? Can I hear that too? Like, I think that'd be cool. It's like big bump off the top, reversal. Like, all right. What was it? I remember I went to a live show because I used to get front seats, and I think I want to say it was Triple H. This is early on when he was Hunter Helmsley. Well, when he was just Triple H. And he said something. He told the guy Irish whip, and then he said reverse, and then he said something like, "You fucked up, you fucked up," and he kept telling the guy that. I forgot who it was, but I always remember that he was heavy breathing, real fast. You fucked up, you fucked up. But whatever. But yeah, no, that I think it could be cool. Who knows? You know, I hear that you can watch sports. NBA has was it $7 or something like that? You could watch some basketball games. NFL has some stuff that and I think it works out better for that. I mean, I've used VR only a handful of times. I had a buddy of mine who has the one for the phone, the Samsung one, and it looked kind of cool with the Netflix because it's like when you put on Netflix, it looks like he said it was different scenes. I only use this one, but it looked like I was sitting on a couch in a house. And I'm looking around, I see a big TV in front of me, and then I just, selected the movie I wanted to play, press play, and I'm watching it, and I can turn my head away. So it's like I'm watching it, but then I'm somewhere else. You know what I mean? It was weird. It's like so weird.
That's funny. I didn't know about that with Netflix. That's
funny. The Netflix. So it's like, and you can press it again, and then it's just in your face. But I had it where I'm sitting on a couch. I can literally look to my left. I can look to my right, and I saw like a window, and I could see outside, and the weather. It was like cloudy and stuff, and then look back at the movie that's still playing. I'm like, this is crazy. So I could just imagine what it's like for the other experiences. So who knows? But I think it's better. That sounds better than playing the games. A lot of people don't like the games. So
you had a better version. They did a VR with the PGA. So I was watching golf in VR.
Oh,
painful experience.
It sounds painful. Sounds painful.
But so the WWE have a new app for it. So we'll see. Let's see how that works out.
Yeah, we'll see. So well, I'm glad that you provided some clarification, Dana, on the 3 hours for the Raw anniversary show. We'll see what surprises WWE has in store. I guess we'll just have to wait, and I'm pretty sure we'll get some more news on this on Raw this upcoming week. So looking forward to that. We have a few other topics to get into before we get to the main one. So we can talk about Wrestle Kingdom 12. I know that you both saw it extensively. I would like to give a shout out to Ricardo because he also saw the show and he disliked a lot of what he saw on the show. So
if Dean Ambrose would have showed up, he would have liked it.
Oh, whoa, okay, all right.
Even if he hobbled down there, he would have been happy. He was like, "This is the best show ever."
All right, so I like, as I said, he is watching this, so I'm gonna let him confront you on that the next time he's on the show.
He knows it's true.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom 12? How about you? Tell us yours first, Adam.
It was good. I mean, it's Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, it's New Japan. It's what is expected. If people don't know, it's a lot of wrestling. It is a lot of wrestling. It's none of those promos and video vignettes backstage and all that crazy and giving you replays of the feud and how it started. You know, it's a max 40 minutes or so, maybe longer. Then it ends. They just get out of the ring, and then that's it. The next guys start coming down, and it just keeps going. You know, and it's a lot of wrestling. It definitely is a lot of wrestling, but it's good quality matches. I mean, Bullet Club had an amazing match. Cody was out there. He did his thing, you know, with his new blonde hair. The Kenny Omega versus Jericho, you know, was great. I mean, it was what is expected. I mean, I don't, you know, a lot of people say Kenny Omega is like the big star. You know, he's the biggest thing out there right now. I don't see it. You know, he's good, but I just don't. I don't know. This didn't do it for me. Like, I don't see him that way, but whatever, you know, and that was it. It was a solid show. There was a lot of great matches on it. You know, I was entertained. You know, I liked Marty Scurll's wings. That was a big talking point because, you know, he came down with these big, like, gargoyle type wings and, you know, with his entrance. I don't know if you ever seen him, but he comes out with his umbrella and he does the whole thing with the long, the crow face and, you know, goes the whoop whoop. Pretty cool. It's fun. But they're all great workers. That's the other thing. It's not just gimmicks. They all can work. So it was good. It was good. You know, I enjoyed it. It was long. A lot of matches were long. You know, and I guess maybe I'm just, you know, from when you're watching WWE products for a long time, you're expecting to break so that way you can go to the bathroom and do other things. It's like, oh, they're just going to talk. This is how this feud built up, you know, past month or so. No, you don't get that in this. So it's just like you got to stay there, watch it, or, you know, miss it or pause it if you have that ability. And that's it. But I had no problems with it. I never do with these Wrestle Kingdoms. You know, this is their version of WrestleMania. So they usually go all out, and they did. You know, so it was good. I liked it.
Sounds good. How about you, Dana? What were your thoughts?
She's muted.
You're muted.
There you go.
I'm muted. Sorry. I thought it was fun and entertaining, and it's lovely to see wrestlers wrestle.
Yeah.
And that's what I love the most about Wrestle Kingdom. It's that WWE is great and wonderful for its, you know, it's lane that it's in. If you like that, remember, it's sports entertainment. It's not wrestling. So to sit and watch a show, you know, all 40 hours of it, of the thing, and promos and those gimmicks and just coming out with these amazing costumes and just showing off all of their talents and their abilities and just wrestling, and you see how athletic all these people are. I truly enjoyed the whole Cody Rhodes. I forgot who he was facing. I can't pronounce any of these names.
Yeah,
so
he was also in the Cruiserweight tournament. He forget
butcher everyone's names.
Yeah,
but the guy he was with, to see people in their element wrestling, and everyone just was really happy about it. You know, and to see Cody just happy, and to see Brandy, who you watched, because I kind of watched her in TNA and she sucked, and then now she was really good compared to how she was before. She's watchable, and that little thing that she had with Cody and them faking out the whole. Remember, she got hit.
Oh yeah, he got hit.
Carrying her. Mm-hmm. Something like that. You know, that would have been like a 20-minute speech on Raw or SmackDown. But just something as simple as that, and act like that, and it told the story so well, and her just laughing off in the corner, and him, like, you know, doing this fake crying thing and this whole bit. Every aspect about that. I enjoyed Chris Jericho, even though Kenny Omega did have to like tone down his moves a little bit, they were still going at it. Point where you didn't really get distracted by the fact that, you know, Jericho is, what is he, like 47?
Yeah,
now?
He's older. He still went, and he did the Lion Tamer. He did the old school.
How great is it was to see a 47-year-old wrestle a what, 30? Omega's like what, 30?
He's in his 30s, I think 32, 33, something like that.
To like, even though he had to like tone down his wrestling, they still put on this really great match, and it was full of this such great energy.
DDP yoga, baby. DDP yoga.
Basically. And to see that, and then did you see the promo like afterwards, and him just being like this complete heel, and him going after the press, and it was just great. I loved every single thing about the thing. So if you are someone who is jaded by, you know, TNA, WWE, whatever, go and watch Wrestle Kingdom, because it's just refreshing to see people who have talent who are allowed to show all of their ability.
You know what? It's linked to this. This is what gets me pissed off, because the WWE, of course, with the whole thing with the Balor Club and kept hyping Japan. The fact that they give so much praise about Japan when really that's their real competition. It's not Ring of Honor. It's not Impact. It is New Japan. Not only on the quality of wrestling, but they also have a network. You know, New Japan World is a network. You know, you subscribe here, you know, and that's competition. So I don't understand. It's like, it's got to be all in Vince's head, still thinking that, you know, the internet doesn't exist and nobody sees what's happening in Japan. And so he can freely say these are big stars over there and people take his word for it. No, these people know, because they could also run the Googles and take a look and say, oh, wow, I see this. You know, so I don't, it's like, just work together then. That's it. Just call it out. You know what I mean? And work with these people, work with everybody. Everybody can work together. There's plenty of money. You know what I mean? There's plenty of money out there. You know, that way they don't have to go and carry over these things. Bullet Club stuff, you want to make some real money? Bring that in. Bring that in. Go ahead and split it. Just like Ring of Honor splitting it with New Japan, you know, and they can do the same thing. You know, that's it. Just I don't see why he has to just be like me, my world. You know, that works when it was a smaller world. Now it was a larger world. Now it's smaller. You know, to reverse that. So, you know, the internet's brought everything in front of our faces. You don't have to tape trade anymore. I don't have to go and try to find a tape of this. I can just type in a name and there it is. You know, the fans, casual fans that are Jericho fans of WWE are like, what? Wait, where's he wrestling? And they can just type in his name and find all those highlight videos from Japan that he just did. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it'll ever change, but it needs to change, you know, because this is their real competition. If not, I can see things changing real quick. I can see it changing, because obviously more wrestlers would love to go over to Japan, but Japan now has their own title belts that's here in the States. That's the one that Kenny Omega has. You know, he's their U.S. champ. You know, sort of like how we have the European championship, same thing. It's a U.S. one. You know, and they're doing a lot of shows on the West Coast. You know, and if that keeps growing, you know, this can be a serious competition. So then maybe we will, when they do start rating and taking guys, we won't hear that big names from Japan anymore. I don't know, but I find it interesting with all that, because it's a good product. You know, it's a solid product. It's wrestling. It's a wrestling product. You know, so
that's true. Yeah. So, only thing I have to say about Wrestle Kingdom, you know, I did see some of it. I didn't see all of it yet. But what I thought it was good. The only thing I really want to say about it is I have to give props to Chris Jericho time and time again, because he always finds a way to reinvent his character. Every time when he comes back to WWE, he finds something different to do, some type of phrase or whatever to get over, and it gets over. So I have to give him credit. I like his character, what he's doing in New Japan. I'll be very curious to see what else he does while he's there.
I just don't know where he finds the time to do all this. He's got think about it, he's got Fozzy. He's touring with Fozzy. He has to do studio work with them. He has to write songs. He has a podcast network. He has his podcast he's always doing. You know, yeah, you can put some in the can and release those, but still you have to do interviews and do at least on his end. That's what he does. A lot of that stuff. You know, then he's got a family. He's got kids. You know what I mean? It's like, and then you're traveling to Japan. Then you're prepping those type of things. Where do you find the time to do all this? I don't know.
I don't either. He just has a lot of time, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I'm sure it's dropping the ball somewhere. Maybe a bandmate will complain about him. A kid will write a book when they become older. Daddy was never there. You know, you hear a lot of that from these wrestling kids. You know, Daddy was always there. If I want to see Daddy, he was on TV. That's what Charlotte said. Remember? You know, so he was like, Daddy was never there. Oh, I want to see Daddy tonight. I had to turn on the TV to see Daddy tonight. At least I knew where he was, but he wasn't with me. You know, so
and Ric Flair's crying all over the place. I miss
Ric Flair crying. But they understood. I mean, he was making money for the family, so you got to respect that much. Like, got to do what you got to do. But at least you know where he was. He wasn't at the bar. Oh wait, he was. But whatever. Let's just leave it at that. He was working hard.
Yeah. Well. I will say this, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. Since you mentioned the bar, all those people that you guys mentioned are going to be at the Raw 25th anniversary. I hope to hell that there will not be any drinks there, because Scott Hall doesn't need to go near any drinks, and neither does Ric Flair either. So I hope they are mindful of that. We'll say what?
I got a little bit.
Who?
Wait, am I muted?
No, we hear you now. It was like a weird cutout.
Fell off the wagon.
Oh, someone fell off the wagon?
He fell off. I did hear about that too.
Yeah. But I mean, it's hard. Someone else fell off the wagon too, they said. Was it Jake the Snake or somebody fell?
I hope it's not Jake.
It's sad. No, there's somebody that's going for Just Incredible. Just Incredible fell off, and now DDP's trying to help him out. You know, things are falling, getting pretty bad for him. So,
well, I hope that, I wish them well. Hope they get back to, get things under control once again. We'll see. All right, Dana, I believe that you wanted to talk about the WWE Mixed Match Challenge. And of course, I guess we're gonna have a couple of thoughts on that. Again, since Adam has already mentioned it, I'm just going to say I'm very disappointed to hear about Samoa Joe's injury, because I wanted to see him compete, not just in the Royal Rumble, but I also wanted to see him compete in this as well. But what are your thoughts on the Mixed Match Challenge? Are you looking forward to it, Dana?
Yes. I hate that they're making this to be like some big groundbreaking thing that we've never seen in the history of wrestling before. We've seen, mixed match challenges before. Remember, China was a huge part of that. I am slightly excited for how they the partnerships of some of the people. Kind of looking forward to Alicia Fox and Goldust. I think those two will work well together. They're both a little, off and a little crazy, and I like how their gimmicks are and their personalities, so I like that. I think it's going to be very interesting. The other one that I'm really happy for is Asuka. What is it? Asuka, I'm sorry. So Miz and Asuka, that should be interesting as well. And also for Laura and Natalie. I think those two would be interesting. But you have people like Nia and Cruz. I really don't give 5 farts about. Elias and Bailey, again, I don't care about. If you are a fan of the Total Divas, you'll know they'll be fine. Good for them. Shinsuke is. I said Natalie already. I said Natty. And there's also Sasha Banks and Balor, which for me is like it's okay. I don't really feel anything towards that, but
I actually overall, have. I think... Oh no! I was just gonna say I actually have a comment on the Balor and Banks team up. I personally think that is an excellent team up for WWE because they have ruined both characters creatively over the last several months. You know, they had all this stuff with Sasha Banks losing matches and all this other stuff, and then you have Balor jobbing out to certain people. So yeah, that's a good little team up, I would say. But I don't know. Go ahead, Dana. Continue.
There's also Strowman and Bliss, which I think is hilarious, and I love that with all of my heart. That's just the whole reason to watch it, is just to see Braun and so that's great. And then there's also I think I said everybody. Naomi. No, there's Becky Lynch and Sami Zayn, which okay, that's cute. So overall, I don't understand why they're making a big thing out of this. They're acting like men and women have never wrestled before together.
But I think it's all about the platform. What is this Facebook service? What is it called? It's like
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live. So what is that?
Yeah. The live video on Facebook.
That's already a thing now. Why is this? Is this like a subscription service that Facebook is trying to push, like original content type thing?
No, it's all on Facebook. They're calling it Facebook Watch. What it is that Facebook Watch, they're now going to do, they're partnering with TV networks and with movie studios so that you can watch movies. I know that there is a Kerry Washington movie that's coming out pretty soon that's going to be exclusively on Facebook Watch. I guess it's like the equivalent of YouTube Red, but you're not paying a subscription.
Okay.
Yeah, but YouTube Red gives you a lot more because then you also get the Google Play music. You get a lot of stuff for that. I don't know. I don't know. Just whatever. It sounds silly. The whole thing sounds silly because it's a tournament. This is going to be going on for weeks.
Yeah, this is going to be going on for weeks. Basically, it's going to start on, it's 6 rounds, first round matches. And Smackdown Live team together. Oh my God. So it's going to start on January 16th. First is going to be Finn Balor and Sasha Banks is going against Shinsuke Nakamura and Natalie. The second week is going to be The Miz and Asuka versus Big E and Carmella. The third week is Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss versus Sami Zayn and Becky Lynch.
Oh, Sami Zayn.
Huh?
Oh no, continue.
The fourth week.
Are they doing intergender wrestling? Like, are we gonna be able to see Natty go against Balor and stuff, or it still has to tag in the woman and do that whole thing?
So, like for example, week 4, Jimmy Uso and Naomi. The women will be able to touch each other, and the men are touching each other, but there will be no intertouching.
Come on.
Unless it's something silly, like, a woman slapping a man, but that's just it. You're not gonna have the stunner on, I don't know, Natty, for example.
Oh yeah, they can't do that.
Oh, she could take it. She could take it. Come on.
So
no sexy star on this.
No. So I do have something to say, but Dana, you go ahead first, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
So week 5 is going to have Elias and Bailey with Rusev and Lana. Week 6 is Apollo Crews and Nia Jax versus Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair. And then we're going to also include a second chance fan vote, which, the universe or whoever watches it is going to be able to have, like, an eliminated team is going to be able to come back again.
Okay.
So starts at 10 Eastern Standard Time.
All right, now I know I won't be watching that. So,
so here's the thing. Let me just go ahead and say this right now. I understand, as you said, Adam, that they're doing this to take advantage of the platform with Facebook. But to me, it's all complete BS, because what was it when Vince said, "Oh, Survivor Series, this is the only pay-per-view time of the year where Raw versus SmackDown." So it's all BS.
Oh, it's all BS.
It's all BS. They break these rules all the time, and having like when they had Balor face AJ Styles because they had people that were sick.
They break all kinds of rules. The ultimate rule that they always break, and we see it every year, and we're gonna see it in a few weeks, is when somebody in the Rumble gets tossed out, and for some reason they get to go back in and grab the guy who tossed him out and toss him out, and that still counts. That makes no sense. How, if you were already eliminated, do you get to toss another guy? You see, they make up rules as they go. They make up rules as they go. They don't ever bring that up.
Absolutely.
Forget it.
You're right. Well, we'll see what happens. I know Dana's looking forward to it, so I look forward to seeing which team advances.
I feel they're stretching themselves too thin, WWE, with all this. You got a network. Fill up the damn network with content. You want to do this type of stuff, put on the network. I mean, they can't even do the Raw highlights properly because they got the Hulu cuts and they got that deal with Hulu. You know, so it's weird when they start advertising, oh yeah, subscribe to Hulu, but also subscribe to us, please. We also have a network. Come on now. It's like, this is too much. This is too much. And then now you're doing this whole thing with Facebook for what? What do you think? What do they think they're gonna get? New fans, new people are gonna tune in. The people that don't watch wrestling now are not gonna watch it because it's on Facebook. You know, there's no point for this unless they're getting paid. Unless Facebook is paying them a bucket's loads of money and says, hey, listen, we'll cover Cena's fees and all that stuff all year. All you gotta do is to show this stuff. You know, we got Brock Lesnar's bills paid. You just need to give us some programming. Yeah. And I know a lot of wrestling fans. Nobody's hyped for this. Nobody cares about this.
Many people don't even really know.
Doesn't even make sense. None of it sounds like, because it's WWE's all about stories. It's all about storylines and building up feuds and stuff. And this breaks all of that. This breaks all of that. It's just like, why? Why are you doing this now? You know, and it's.
They announced that for anyone in the UK, they'll get it on the network.
Oh, okay. So Gary, you know, when Gary's listening to this, because I'm sure he will be listening to this tomorrow. Now you guys have an opportunity. You know, Gary, Ramis, and Carl, you have an opportunity to watch this, or you know. So yeah, make sure
he won't be watching this either. He won't. Nobody wants to see this. He's gonna be like, "Oh, thanks for telling me. Fuck this," and that's it. And he's gonna pass. He's going to move on because he knows this is a waste of his time. This is a waste of everybody's time. You know?
Absolutely. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Because we'll see a whole lot happening from this. Nothing's gonna happen from this. They got too many other things going on.
There's no advertisement on Facebook at all. So
now that puts up a bunch of red flags right there. So okay, that throws out the whole thing that Facebook wants to do this. So then they don't. They don't. So they don't care. This is not to boost their product. So this is WWE's attempt to try to bring in a new audience. It's not happening. You know, if they're going for a younger audience, they don't use Facebook. You know, they moved on. The younger audience are doing everything on Snapchat and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're Snapchatting and Instagramming.
Yeah, they're Instagramming and stuff. They're not hanging out on Facebook. That's it. Facebook's it's up there with MySpace. You know, it's phasing out when it comes to all of that.
Absolutely. All right, so.
Oh, and all.
What was that?
Hello?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, also, whoever wins the challenge, $100,000 to the charity of their choice. So it's all for goodness.
Oh, so yeah, the charity. Okay, there you go.
I think nope, not good. Not good. They should be giving money anyway. They're rich. They got money. Nope. What they should do, if they want to make this really interactive, have people vote on who they think is going to win. Make it like a voting, you know, like sort of like in Vegas. You know, make it one of those games.
Cyber Monday.
Well, there you go, Cyber Monday. Do something like that, and then the people that actually picked it get some money out of it. So like here, or no, everybody who picks it, you get a year's worth of WWE Network or something like that. You know, the winner.
You remember when they tried to give out money to people?
Oh yeah, when Vince was calling these people and giving them money, that they should do that every Monday. And I can just keep putting in my name and making fake email accounts. But man, yeah, I remember that. But that's what you call putting your money where your mouth is. Like, I bet if I gave money, people will watch it. And they did. The ratings went through the roof. because everybody wants to tune in, just like they tune in for when the news lady starts doing the lotto call outs. It's the same thing. So people won. I wish they could do a follow up. What did they do with all that money?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. We'll see. But now we're going to move on to the unfortunate main topic for tonight's show, and it is some very disturbing news, especially for fans of Paige. We found out earlier tonight that her career as a WWE in-ring performer is officially over, due to the fact that she got injured at a recent event. Now, Dana, I know you had a little bit more information on what exactly happened to Paige, so I'm going to give you the floor to let us know what exactly happened to her.
Yeah, this is just downright sad because anyone who's a fan of Paige knows that wrestling is her life. It is her family's life. She wrestled her parents. How many wrestlers can say that, wrestling is that much in their blood? They get to wrestle their parents. It's a very... And in no shape anybody blames Sasha Banks for people on Twitter are for this, and it's not.
No, she was hurt before that. I mean, this could have happened at any point. Yeah.
Go into wrestling that you can get injured, and it could be career ending. So but basically at a live event in Uniondale, Long Island, Paige suffered what happened was it was a mistimed kick to the back from Sasha Banks. It was like towards the back of the head, and it was so severe that it caused the entire match to end prematurely. And
she said she lost feeling, right?
Immediate medical attention right away. And what they said is that the situation is similar to what Edge faced. And remember, Edge had to retire because of his neck injury. So it's very similar to that. And it's a terrible situation for everyone involved, but don't blame Sasha for this.
I won't.
Well, I definitely won't blame Sasha Banks. I must say that I'm very concerned though about Paige now though, because I'm not really sure how WWE is going to use the character. Of course, they could still use her. They just won't have her do any wrestling. But psychologically, well, go ahead.
Yeah. No, she can be with remember she's with the two other wrestlers now.
Yeah. So she'll be a manager.
She can be a manager, and she can also be a mentor. Yes, she's 25, but she's done a lot in those years. And her knowledge, is very vast. So they can easily bring her in. And she's accomplished a lot. She was the first ever NXT Women's Champion, the first woman to hold both Divas and the NXT Champions at the same time. And she's the youngest female wrestler. So
it depends if she wants to do that, because she may still want to wrestle. Remember, it's just WWE that they don't want to use her. If she pulls a Daniel Bryan and starts saying, well, I just want to go and wrestle, I don't give a shit, then she's going to do it. She could still go out there and wrestle. So.
Yeah.
She is, and she is saying that she can make a comeback. Everything's just wait and see.
You see? So, wait and see for what? It's damage. It's just there. It's one of those things. It's like, you want to take that chance, one wrong hit, then that's you. But
see, my thought is, yeah, she can come back. Like you both said, she can make a comeback. Obviously not with WWE if they have already ruled it out. But my concern is psychologically where she is at, because this has been a rough year for her when you think about all the stuff that she went through last year. And she just came back from that, the sex tape scandal, all of that stuff, It's so, of course, the bad relationship with Del Rio. I do hope that they do find something for her, or that she does find her place. If she doesn't want what they have for her, I'm hoping that she does find peace, because this is the kind of situation where I think you hear the stories about certain things happening to wrestlers, and it could end a lot more tragically. So I'm hoping
depression.
Yeah,
depression will kick in real quick. I mean, this is her livelihood. This is what she's been doing.
And yeah, and it's also she has been, she battled depression, anxiety, and bulimia and anorexia. So
Wow.
hopefully that doesn't affect her like that.
Yeah, I hope not. But I think the fact that this happened when she was just coming back, I thought it was interesting the way that they brought her back, and I was intrigued to see what they were going to do with that. I wanted us to get a Asuka versus Paige match because it seems like that was the direction they were heading in. Now that's not going to happen, which is very unfortunate. But this does show me that WWE is really serious with these any type of injury, and that's why I don't really think Daniel Bryan, even when the contract is up, they kept saying, because I saw a report recently of them talking about Triple H saying, no, if he's not cleared by our doctors, he's just not going to wrestle, period. In WWE.
They don't want to draws, man. People got to remember what happened with draws.
Oh, yeah.
That's even though it was just a fluke and it happened, he broke his neck and he was paralyzed, and that happened in their ring. And they don't want that. They don't want another situation of somebody getting hurt in the ring and not getting up. They don't need that press. They had also, of course, with Owen Hart falling and dying during a pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like that's the last thing they need. And you saw those pictures of Paige. She looked like she was done. Like her mouth is open. She's out there. And she said she couldn't move she couldn't feel her arms or anything. She lost feeling. Everything went numb.
Yeah.
So why take that chance? Because all it takes is one wrong move, one wrong bump, and it's done. That's it.
True. That's true.
Don't take the chance. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the bad press for what? For a regular match? No, come on now.
Yeah, it is bad. I know that they were also making that movie about about her family. So I'm guessing that then when they do, they are going to make mention that this is where it will end off for her story in terms of the wrestling career, but afterwards, like I said, I'm more concerned about what is going to happen now after this. Now, do you know if she's actually if it's going to be a situation where she's actually going to address the people on Raw the same way Daniel Bryan did when he told people that he was retiring, or do you think that this is just going to be something where they just don't address it?
They have to.
They have to. She's part of a big storyline right now. She has a whole faction group and stuff. They have to clarify it. They have to say, "Oh, by the way,
this actually care."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Monday night, then I guess we'll get some more information. We'll get a statement from her. But yeah, it's unfortunate. All I could say is, wish her well. I know we've had a lot of jokes in the past. We see the videos and all this other stuff. We had the up, down, down stuff. But in all seriousness, definitely concerned about her as a person now.
You don't want to see her career end. I mean, even for what she was doing then, she's young. They're having fun. She's not married. She's not a home wrecker or anything. It just shit happens.
Oh. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. That people were hating. They were saying all these horrible things about her, and I'm like, why? I mean, there was guys in that video too. You know what I mean? It's like they just having fun. No one hates anybody. It's just life on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. This stuff has always been happening for years. It's just somebody made a mistake of filming it.
Well, that wasn't a mistake, but yeah. they made sure they shot it. They made the mistake of letting that video get out there, though.
Yeah, and if you're going to be that outraged, be equally outraged at Hulk Hogan's tape.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, party in the pants. There we go.
Oh yeah, brother. That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, well, was that guy? That was the guy's ex-wife, right? That wasn't.
No, I thought it was his wife.
It was his ex-wife. They were going through a divorce or something like that. Brother Love Sponge, where they were going through a divorce, and that's when that happened.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Did you have anything else that you want to add, Adam?
Nah, it's sad. I mean, what I want to add, link to all this, is if the rumors are true of what they said with Mark Henry doing his silent retiring, and that he's done. He's retired.
Well,
that's also sad because they weren't doing anything with him, but we all remember, we were talking about it earlier, that great fake retirement speech that he gave.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic.
That was like the best moment he ever had on the mic, and it sucks. Maybe they can air that and make it seem like that was live. They do some cut job, editing, and I'll take that. You know what I mean? Like, just air that and just show like, oh yeah, I have to retire and all this stuff. And I'm like, where's this happening? Oh, this was at a house show a few months back. Don't worry about it. Just keep watching. You know what I mean? And cut out all the parts of when he said nah and attacked Cena. Cut that part out, and that's it. And that, because he's talking about he's done and he's not showing up on Raw or anything. It's just finished.
Well, I think he's had an excellent career. Even though I wanted them to give him more opportunities, still had a good career for what it was worth. I think others need to follow him into retirement. I'm talking about Kane, etc., other wrestlers.
He's gonna be mayor soon.
If he wins, yeah.
He could be
but
mayor.
No, he said even if he wins, he's still gonna be part of WWE because he said he's not taking his whole big selling point for mayor is that he's not taking a paycheck. Because he's gonna be a working mayor, he said. So he's gonna still do. He said maybe not all the big matches and stuff, but he's still gonna be doing something with the WWE. He's not leaving WWE, even if he becomes mayor.
So a wrestling mayor, that won't even go well with any of his constituents because they'll feel like he's not even.
Well, there you go. So if they vote him in, they can't bitch. But right now, we don't know. Maybe they won't want to vote him in. And he said supposedly he already talked to his running mate, the guy he's running against, and they agreed to do a clean debates. They're not going to bring up any of this stuff, with him and his wrestling character because it's acting, it's just entertainment, and it's the same thing. Like you can't, when Arnold was running for governor, you couldn't say, well, you were the Terminator and you killed a lot of people in your movies. You can't do it. It just doesn't work that way. So we'll see. We'll see if he wins. I don't know. I mean, we've seen a lot of this. Jesse the Body, remember he was a governor, and even Rhino ran for some political office back in from Michigan. So he didn't win, but he ran for something.
And JBL, didn't he? I know he's like a huge staple on like Fox News, and he has like this.
He had a Fox News show, and then he said some stuff, and they kicked him off. But I don't think anything in politics. I don't think. He owns an island or something like that. So,
oh gosh,
wow,
some weird stuff like that. Because remember, he made a bunch of money in the stock market.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
he wrote a book about it.
Yeah, he wrote a book. Like everything just triggered from that. That's when we got the new JBL. Fixed up teeth, fixed the gap and stuff. Remember?
That's true.
So.
But yeah, in regards to Mark Henry, he did announce that he was retiring from in-ring competition. So he's still an ambassador for the company, and also he deserves it. Like he's been a part of WWE since '96.
I remember
wrestler in the company, so yay for him still keeping the job, and
Mm-hmm. I remember I used to watch a lot of ESPN, and they had like tough man competitions. I used to love seeing that Magnus and all these big Norwegian guys picking up stuff. And then he was there, and he had a WWF shirt, And I remember I'm like seeing this big dude, and he's like lifting up stuff, and he's got his dreads. Remember he had all the dreads up, and he lifting things up. And then I was like, what the hell? This is before the internet, And then eventually it was in some magazine that he was interviewed, Sports Illustrated or something. And they asked about the shirt. And he was like, you're wearing it. And he was like, oh, I'm a big fan. And, hopefully one day I'll become a wrestler, and I'll get there. And he did. They picked him up, and he was real green. Mick Foley talked about it. He hated wrestling him because he's green and he smelled real bad. His singlet was really stinky. He used to always talk about it. But, he developed, he learned, and that was it. And he's been there ever since. So. He was definitely a company man. He did everything they asked. He did silly gimmicks with Mae Young, remember sexual chocolate and all that stuff. And then he did the silverback stuff. So House of Pain.
Yeah, that's right. House of Pain.
Mm-hmm. He'll be a Hall of Famer. I see them putting him in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully. Oh, yeah, definitely. He should be.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So, any other thoughts before we wrap up tonight's show?
We still got 4 more hours. What are you talking about?
Whoa, 4 more hours. Whoa.
We still got to talk about nothing. We don't have to talk about that. That's it. That's all. I mean, no, That's cool. I mean, we sort of talked about like what's going to happen with some of the indie guys that are out of contract now. Like when we said earlier about Ricochet, Prince Puma, where's he going? Who knows? I know he's doing a bunch of indie shows and he's working some new promotion, but I don't know. You would think one of the big ones would have picked him up, New Japan or Ring of Honor or WWE, but nothing. And Lucha is filming. That much we do know, right? Right, Dana? It's like they already told their people February and March. People not to
February and March.
Their dates. That's their filming. Who knows when this stuff will air?
Is it so they have a Netflix deal now, or is it still up in the air?
No, it's they're with the El Rey network. The El Rey picked them up, so it's the same deal that it was before. Their seasons will show up delayed, on Netflix, but Netflix didn't pick them up as an original series.
Netflix said to hell with that.
I guess, but that's the thing. It's not a lot of promotion for Lucha Underground. I mean, unless it really lives up to the term underground, unless you know somebody that knows about it, that tells you about it, you don't know about it. You know what I mean? Like when if you go on YouTube and you get commercials when related to certain things, if you go watching wrestling videos, you're not seeing ads for Lucha Underground. They're not doing that. So I don't. It's upsetting because it's a really unique product. It's a fun product, and we'll talk about it when it happens. But right now, hopefully it works out. I don't know who's coming back. A lot of the guys left. A lot of guys lost rights to their names. Pentagon Jr. lost his name to AAA, and he's going under some other name. I forgot the damn name already, and that sucks. We know Johnny Mundo will be there.
Oh yeah,
Johnny Impact, even though he's with Impact Wrestling, he told them, he's like, well, I still have this other deal, and they're not looking to pay anybody big bucks, so they're like, all right, fine, whatever, do both of them. So yeah, and you know what? There was a lot of big names that they picked up that nobody knew about, and I'm sure they'll do it again. I'm sure we'll see a bunch of guys that we never heard of, and we'll be like, wow, who is that?
Yeah.
And it said, wow, that's what happened with Prince Puma. He was like on real indie shows, not even doing much. And then they put him on the main stage, big name. So who knows who else they got up their sleeve.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing him in WWE later this year.
Rumble, right? Rumble. I mean, that's a dream right there, right? Those are the dreams. But then we got to wake up, because do we really want to see him there? Because they're not going to let him do the double moonsault. They're not going to let him do his craziness. What makes Ricochet bouncing off of shit. They're not going to let him do all that. And he's not that great on the mic. So he's not going to get up there. It's going to be pretty bad. So it's like we want him because of the convenience of always knowing where he is and seeing some really good matchups. But then on the downside, we're not going to see really good matches in those matchups. Not because he can't do it or his partners, just because the way that WWE produces their stuff, they hold them back from a lot of things. And they'll burn them out quick. Too many matches, too many house shows. Yeah, you get paid a lot, but you work a lot.
Yeah.
You work a hell of a lot.
That's true.
I mean, hell, even Enzo, when he was talking about Neville and talking about Neville's schedule, and Neville was working like 5 days a week or some ridiculousness.
Mm-hmm. I saw that interview. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was doing a lot, and so you get burnt out. And people are like, "Oh, he's upset because he dropped this," and I know he's just tired because nothing was happening with him, and he's working himself to the bone. It's just a lot. It's just a lot physically, and then to find time to work out. So imagine that. Imagine not only do you have to do all this stuff, but you have to travel, find your own way to get to these places if you're driving in the States, and then you got to find a gym nearby and start working out. And try to eat right. Try to keep that up, and then your sleep schedule. You're jumping in and out of different places, and time zones change, and you're asleep at this point, but you're still awake. So now you got to go to sleep, but then you got to get up early because you got to do a match, and then you got to do promo work, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a hard life. It's a very hard life. So yeah, they get paid a lot, but you give up a lot. And again, that's why I don't know how Jericho does it.
Jericho's the man.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
That's it. So yeah. Any final thoughts from you, Dana?
Yeah, really quick. Brutus the Beefcake. Brutus the Barber Beef. Oh gosh, I'm butchering her every name. Brutus the Barber Beefcake is currently in a Twitter war with Hulk Hogan.
Oh, here we go.
Brutus has just published his autobiography. It's available now on Amazon, and it's a tell-all, and it reveals all of the backstage situations that happened. And Hulk Hogan is very pissed and threatened to sue him about this book. So if anyone's interested, the book, if anyone cares, but it's called Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Strutting and Cutting.
No thanks. No thanks. A lot of people don't even know Gold does release the book, a tell-all. And that just came and went. No one cared.
I did not know that.
Yeah, look that up. He had a tell-all too while he's with WWE, and they didn't even promote that. It just came and went.
Do you guys remember WCW's, remember the Shockmaster?
Yep.
Is dying. So
his Tugboat.
His family is asking for prayers. They won't give details of everything that's happening, but you know, many prayers for Tugboat. Always be my favorite.
Oh, that's horrible news.
That's very unfortunate.
Well, we definitely wish his family well, and again, we do wish Paige's family as well as her well also. That concludes our show for this week. So final shout outs. Dana, you have any final shout outs you'd like to give?
I would shout outs to everyone who's listening, and shout out to everyone involved in Wrestle Kingdom 12. Wrestling fun again. And Ronda Rousey doesn't get a shout out because I don't want to see her come to the WWE.
Well, so we're going to talk about that next week because, we do have to talk about some stuff with that, how they're going to set that up. Sounds good. How about you, Adam? Any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to everybody that's listening. You know, these are long shows, but, you know, it's wrestling talk, and I know a lot of people out there, they don't know people that like wrestling, you know, and that watch wrestling. That's a big issue for some reason, you know, because people still give it the stink eye. You know, it's like, well, why are you watching that shit? You know, but you know, it's cool. You get to listen. We talk about it. You know, real talk. We just say it like it is, and what we think of it. And thanks for listening and enjoying it. You know, keeping with this format of Fridays. You know, so if you're on your computer or something, you know, just put it on. And shout out to the other show, Throwdown. You know, that's a gaming show that I do on Thursdays and Sundays. Give a shout out to Tony and Manny and all the guys there. So it's cool. And that's it. Enjoy. Have a good life. Life is good.
Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to all of those that did listen to tonight's show. We will be back consistently, like I said, every Friday. So we're looking forward to having another show next week. Give a shout out to. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, I forgot. Also, leave comments about wrestling matches that you guys like historic matches. None of that. It doesn't have to be something modern. I'm just curious. You know, what's floating your boat? You know, if you got a link on YouTube or something, go ahead, post it. It could be something from a house show from years ago, or even a local indie development show that you watch. You know, just post it. It's always cool to see that stuff. So.
I agree. Very good idea. Yeah, definitely do that. Absolutely. But yes, thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Later.